Hey, I'm gonna show you my setup for when I glue down frets on a guitar that has frets that are popping up. If there's too many frets I can fit a feeler gauge underneath, then I'm going to glue them all down before I do a fret level undress. And this is all of the equipment. First, I check all the frets with my feeler gauge. This is 0.005, and if I can fit a feeler gauge under there, then the fret needs to be glued. If there are multiple frets that need to be glued, I will glue all of them. First, take some naphtha on a paper towel or a rag and clean the fretboard off, because you don't want the little dirt and grime to react with the super glue and then either prevent the super glue from going into the fret or just caking up on the side of the fret. I take my petroleum jelly, which is just like some Vaseline with no smelly stuff in it, and I put a little bit on a Q-tip and I rub my fret cauls with that to prevent any glue from sticking on the cauls. And then I take it just a little bit. If there's excess, you just rub it on your hand and you just a nice little bead along the side of the fret. You don't want to glob it on there, you just want to put a little bit, and that prevents the glue from sticking to the board. Okay, this is what the process looks like. I take my petroleum jelly, a little bit off of my hand, one side of the fret, one side of the fret. Take my water thin super glue and very carefully, just a little drop in the middle, and I spread it out to either side. Drop in the middle, spread it out to either side. Q-tip, wipe off the excess, and I drag the Q-tip and spin it at the same time, and that gets most of the super glue off. And I take my fret clamp it. I take a thin piece of metal and a paper towel. I rub it underneath the fret caul. Accelerator, put a little drop, little drop, little drop, little drop. Then I take my feeler gauge and I feel the frets that I already did to make sure I didn't miss anything, or and make sure I clamped it correctly. Last step is to clean it up, and I use this micro chisel. Go very carefully along the side of each fret, and usually you will get a little bead of super glue. I start off with the naphtha. I rub that along each side of the fret, and that removes the petroleum jelly. But if you have smears of super glue, you're going to need to scrape it off or use a little bit of acetone. Be careful, acetone reacts with certain finishes, so you need to make sure you know what kind of finish you have so the acetone doesn't react to it. But you just slow and steady take any of the smears off, and the better you get at putting the glue on, the less you will have super glue stuck all over your fretboard. So get better at doing that and you won't have any cleanup to do.